Good morning, everyone. So welcome to this INN-PRESSME webinar, where we introduce our project pilot lines and then our open call that will start next month. I'm Ulla Forsström. I come from VTT and I coordinate this project. Before going to the details of the pilot lines, I just briefly give you some information about the project. So this is a large project in a Horizon program. We have a budget around 60 million euros, and it's for 4 years, the project. We are almost ending the second year now, and we are moving to a place where we are testing then the pilot lines with the industrial partners who are our partners, and then in a next year also we invite new industrial partners to join and test our pilot lines. Altogether, we have 27 partners from 9 countries, and we have 9 industrial test cases that will be testing and validating the pilot lines. More information you can find from our web pages. And then I jump into the pilot lines and introducing them in the 3 different groups. First of all, because this is a nano-enabled biomaterials call, we have pilot lines that produce nanomaterials and novel bio-based materials. So this means that we have nano and micro scale materials and then bio-based thermoplastic materials. First of the pilot lines is producing cellulose nanofibrils and microfibrillated cellulose, and this is located at VTT, and we produce both low and high consistency products. And in most cases, we have also upgraded our pilot lines, and the pilot line upgrades are mainly about controlling the processes better and data collection in all cases. In some cases also the production rate or width has been switched. The second pilot line producing nanocellulose comes from Fries, Sweden, and they can produce cellulose nanocrystals in a lab scale for small deliveries, and then in a larger scale reactors for the large amounts. The third nanomaterial which we have is a hybrid material. So it's carbon-based nanomaterial that is functionalized with the metal oxide nanoparticles. And these can be synthesized and adjusted based on the needs, for example, for the developing electrode materials. This pilot line is located in Spain. G Nanomat is located in Spain, Madrid. And then the microfiber material is based on a totally new pilot line that is located in Poland, and they produce from natural fibers, flax and hemp, microfibers that they first chemically treat, then dry, and then cut and grind to be micro-sized fibers. And they can provide these as dry materials for composites and other applications. The thermoplastic materials, we have 2 pilot lines. The first one is based on process chemistry, and it's located at VTT. And there we can process any biomaterials. In this case, we make PLA dispersions. So first polymers and then dispersions for dispersion coatings. And we have small scale facilities up to the 600-liter reactors. The Other pilot line producing thermoplastic material is a pilot line located in France. Polymaris Biotechnology has fermentation pilots where they can produce a PHA from marine bacteria. And they have fermentation and filtration, drying, and then the product is dry powder that can be delivered in kilogram scale. From these nanomaterials and novel bio-based materials or any commercial biomaterials, you can make combinations and formulate them to the intermediate products. So you can make printing inks, coatings, granulates, filaments. We have these lacquers then, which are hybrid materials or foamed beads for making plastic products. And these pilot lines are also located across Europe. So the first pilot line is located in Spain. Sidetec has semi-pilot facilities where they can formulate inks and also coatings for different kind of applications. The second pilot line is focusing on compounding of thermoplastic materials, and they have a special feature that they have invested in a lot in safety of the things, so that they can mix dry nanoparticles into these thermoplastic materials in compounding. They also have extrusion pilot lines to produce films and so on, but this is a special feature for them. The other pilot line in France, Meteor, which is located at IPC, is also able to do compounding, but besides that, they are also able to make filaments. So what we need for 3D printing, so that they have a totally new filament production pilot line. And they can produce in kilogram scale these filaments. Fraunhofer has joined the project with 2 pilot lines, and the first one is focusing on making lacquers. This is inorganic organic material that's lacquer that is based on nanotechnology, but the lacquer itself is in a micro-size scale. And they have these facilities to produce it, but also they have some small facilities to apply this lacquer on top of the webs or even on plastic parts. And the other pilot line from Fraunhofer is focusing on extrusion foam technology, so that they can foam thermoplastic materials and make beads out of them, and these beads can then be used to make plastic parts. The intermediate materials can need then processing to the final end products. And we have several pilot lines that can process these paste coatings or thermoplastic granulates or filaments, and produce then the end products by printing, dispersion coating, extrusion coating, or 3D printing. The sheet-to-sheet printing unit that is able to make electronic functions on top of the substrates is located in ICA in France, and they have improved. It's existing pilot line, but they have improved it so that they can more accurately adjust certain features in a product. Dispersion coatings, especially for packaging, can be done with a VTT's surface treatment pilot line, which is used for coating and making also films like nanocellulose films or that sort of things. And it can produce small samples or then used for continuous runs. And the new feature here is that we will soon have a cooling roll that makes the barrier research more efficient in the future. The other pilot line for packaging, which is based on extrusion, is located in IPC in France, and it's making multi-layered films, and these are then fine-tuned to improve the gas barrier and optical properties. CTTech has as well a continuous coating line, and they are specialized to make electrodes and coating electrolytes with their pilot line. And they work with a waterborne slurries and making these electrodes and electrolytes for different kind of energy storage systems. And then our 3D printing pilot line is located in Spain. ITIP has pilot facilities that are based on additive manufacturing technology, and they can print thermoplastic materials and make different kind of parts and products with this technology. And they have also upgraded their pilot line to more control better the product production. So these are our next 16 pilot lines, and besides them, we have, of course, testing and other services also available in our open innovation testbed. And currently in the project, we are validating these upgraded pilot lines with the 9 test cases to see that the operating windows are known and also that they function with these novel materials. I don't present all the 9 test cases. The 9 test cases are shortly introduced on our web pages, but I show the ideas about 4 different test cases for packaging and energy and transport sector, which are more advanced at the moment and also designed to be recyclable or reusable in the future. First of the test cases, which is targeting for packaging, is based on dispersion coating, where we use this PLA PLA dispersion, which is thermoplastic, and then the lacquer coming from Fraunhofer's nanoparticle pilot to make 2-layered structure. And we also use cellulose nanocrystals to stabilize the dispersions. And here we target for bio-based pouches that would be recyclable in a fiber-based packaging chain. And in all test cases, what we currently do in the project is that we compare the novel product to a current material in a sustainability assessment. We look at the barriers. We make the quality assurance with a current test methods that are used with the commercial products, and then we look at the safety issues and consider what should be done in the future with them. The other packaging test case is bio-based reusable boxes, which is based on foam beads that are using BHA and PLA as a raw material, base raw material, and then they are having additives, some cellulose nano microfibrils or the natural fibers, microfibers from 2 pilot lines, and they are compounded and then in a lines and then foamed, and finally there is also 3D printing used for special features for these boxes. So this is using quite many pilot lines, and then we need to study also the recyclability possibilities and biodegradability issues with this product later on. The third example that I show you is targeting for automotive industry, and it's done together with a Italian partner, CRF, and we target like everyone knows that also car parts should be recyclable in the future, so that we would have recyclable plastic parts to be recycled back after the mechanical recycling. In this case, the car parts are produced with a 3D printing, and it uses commercial bioplastics, and then enforcing them with natural microfibers as additives, and these need to compounding and filament making, where we use these pilot lines in France. And then there's also a target to use these hybrid nanoparticles as inside the plastic or as a top of sprayed on top of the plastic parts to have more that sort of attractive appearance at the surfaces. And here as well, we are doing the sustainability assessment, looking at the current barriers and also the safety features, and following the regulations and quality requirements that we have for the car parts. And the fourth example about the validation of the test, the pilot lines with the test case is actually about the ultra capacitors, so that we have a German partner Skeleton targeting for having more safe and more sustainable bio-based materials in the supercapacitors, ultra capacitors in the future. And here we use nano additives from cellulose-based ones, either from fibrils or crystals, and produce them first to intermediate products, so different inks, where also these carbon-based metal oxide modified nanoparticles are used, in a slurry and coating them then in a continuous coating line in Sidetech for the electrodes. And the final testing will happen then in industrial partners facilities. And here as well, we are looking at the safety and then also more environmentally sustainable systems, so that we wouldn't use so toxic and maybe flammable materials as they are used in many batteries. And this is all briefly what I planned to show you about the pilots and these 4 test cases. And the other test cases you can find on our web pages, and the pilots as well. And then as a next, Ricardo will introduce you to our open calls, and he will also show our digital platform where you can, after registration, you can find more information about the pilot lines, more detailed information as well. So at this stage, I move the mic to Ricardo, and we will take the questions and answers then after all 3 presentations. And after Ricardo, Jaime will then explain you how these proposals that you apply in an open call will be evaluated. So that will be then the 3rd presentation. And after those, we take the questions. So Ricardo, please.
Yes, just before Ricardo, I just want to thank you all also for mentioning about the questions, answers, which I forgot to mention. But our participants, you can submit your questions in the meantime. If you want, you can post them on the board. There you will find a question and answer button at the bottom of the screen. So feel free to post them. And they will appear on the board, and you can see each other's question, and you can also upvote them if you wish, and then we will take them at the end of the webinar. Indeed, thank you very much. So Ricardo, the floor is yours.
Hello everybody. I'm happy to be here to explain how the open calls will work. I'm Riccardo from STAM, an Italian company, as you can guess from my accent. I'm the Work Package 7 leader, so I will be the main point of contact for everyone who will participate or that want to know more about the open calls. Ulla has explained our project, what we are doing, what we are developing, and it's clear that our project is extremely wide and difficult. It's the coordination of several different laboratories. We are creating this network and we are developing it in order to give companies and private and other entities services that can be valuable for them to develop new solutions, new products, bio-based solutions to substitute fossil-based products. This is a peculiar business model. It's a new business model that we are creating, the Open Innovation Testbed, and we have several very different technologies to be valorized. This means that the activities are pretty difficult, and we want to prove that everything is going well, and that everything is working for possible clients. How do we imagine the interaction with the future clients? Here we can see a client with a nanomaterial or a bio-based material that want to upgrade and that want to use to develop new products. So this client can come to the OITB, interact with the single entry point, the SEP, and the SEP will just find the best laboratories, the best consortium partners to develop the requested solution, and at the end arrive to the end material and have the final product to be used in the company. This is what we imagine. As you have seen, we have several different laboratories. So the aim of our project is to develop the network of these laboratories and to ease the interaction between the client and these laboratories in order to help them in developing these solutions. We have created on paper our interaction model, the SEP and all the infrastructure. Now we want to prove that this is working and that this will work at the end of the project, and that the legal entity that we are going to create, that will be the INN-PRESSME or ITV, Open Innovation Testbed, will work with real clients and will deliver real solutions. How are we going to do this? It's a great project. You can see that it's difficult. So how will we make it into reality? Well, we have created the open course. The aim is to support companies in accessing the INN-PRESSME's assets and services. As I was saying, we want to validate our model. More important, we want to receive feedbacks on how we are working, on how we are interacting with possible clients. We want to use the open course to get better, to have a better interaction with our clients. And we want to start the building of a proactive ecosystem around the Open Innovation Testbed, an ecosystem of stakeholders that can use our services and that can improve their products. At the end of the open course, we want to find and implement new test cases, such as the test cases that Ulla has already explained during her presentation. So, what are we looking for during the open course? We want up to 15 innovation concepts to subsidize in order to help them to access our facilities and services. These these innovation concepts will be evaluated by us, such as projects, open projects. We will look for the most innovative, the most interesting for our general concept. We want to also check, we will check if the innovation concepts will be in line with our services, our technologies, so if we can deliver you the final product. But Amy later will explain it better. We will evaluate them. And what are these projects? They will be projects between 50 to 100,000 euros which will ask to work with us in some of the different pilot lines that we offer. What we offer as open course is that 70% of the costs of the innovation concepts will be completely covered by the consortium as person month to access the facilities. So the facilities, the research facilities will be provided by the consortium, while we expect collaboration from the beneficiary that will support up to 30% of the costs of the innovation concept. Also in this case, 30% can be person month dedicated to the innovation concept by the participant, the beneficiary. How we imagine the interaction. It's similar to the slide I have already shown you, but let's imagine that there is a company with a new polylactic acid film or material and they want to use it for packaging. So the client can interact with the SEP. The SEP will find the best, will interact with the SEP and will create the project with the SEP, single entry point, and when the project is ready, the SEP will find in the consortium the best partners to deliver the final product. In this case, for example, we can go to the to VTT and RISE to develop nanocellulose fillers to be added to the PLA, and then have IPC for the compounding and processing into multi-layer films, while Fraunhofer can be involved in the deposition of lacquers for optical properties if necessary. And then INN-PRESSME and ST partners will do several services related to recyclability, data, and IP protection. At the end of this process, we expect to have a new bio-based material for the packaging sector delivered to our customer. The same on the opposite side, we can start from the end, so helping a producer to change the materials used in already existing products in order to be more sustainable. For example, starting from plastics for the automotive sector, we can reverse engineer it and develop new materials, for example, novel thermoplastic cellulose, and then keep on with several services inside our consortium and deliver a new bio-based material to be used in the automotive sector, for example. This is the idea. This is how we want to work also during the open calls, in which the client can be someone interested in developing new bio-based solutions and will interact with us. I am the open call manager, so you can contact directly me. At the end, you will see my contact details, and we can help you in creating your innovation concept, and then work with the consortium to deliver at the end the final product. But you can ask me, where can I find the info on the pilots? Because if I don't know where what the pilot lines do, I cannot create the innovation concepts. Well, we have created a platform, a digital platform, the INN-PRESSME digital platform that you can access, you can register, and when you're registered, you can interact with it and have all the information to participate to the open calls. This is what you can see. Marta Notari is my colleague that helped in the development of the platform. As you can see on the left, We have several different entries, one of which is pilots. In pilots, you will see these folders. Inside of them, in these cards, inside of them, there are all the description of our services and pilot lines, and you can understand what we are doing during the project. It's similar to the description that Ulla has already done during her presentation. Going to the open call menu, that right now is empty. Starting from the 1st of December, that is the first date on which the open calls will start, you will find the card related to the open call that starting in December. And in this card, you can find all the information you need to apply for the open calls with your innovation concept. You will find all the templates, all the guidelines that Amy will explain to you later. So here you will find everything. On the proposal menu, you will have the possibility to add your proposal. To preserve the IP and the confidentiality, only you and the consortium will have access to your innovation concept proposal. So other participants to this platform will not have access to your projects. This is the timeline that we have created for the open calls. As I was saying, the first wave of the open calls will start on the 1st of December with the deadline of the 30th of January. So you have a couple of months to study the pilot lines and create the innovation concepts. Then there will be the selection of the winners, and starting from the 1st of September 2023, you will be able to start the winners of the open course. We start the studies with the pilot lines involved in their projects. The second wave of the open course will start on May, and there will be the same steps. So the deadline is in June, then the winners will be selected on the 1st of September, and starting from 2024, the winners will start with the implementation of their projects. This webinar is recorded. This means that if you will need information in the future, you can look at this again. You can have all the information from this webinar, but obviously we are available for you. You have all our contacts. You can find them also in the INN-PRESSME website. So we are absolutely open to help you in any way you will need. Here you can find, here it is the flyer that we have disseminated everywhere in Europe during this month. There are all the information that you can require. You can find this also in our website. And maybe you can have in your mind some questions that we have already found in the events that we participated in this month. For example, yeah, cool, but this is all very interesting, but I don't know what I want to innovate. Or it's so huge as a project, so I don't understand how we can collaborate. I work in the bio-based sector, but I'm doing it by myself. I don't need you. I don't see added value to my project, or I'm not sure I need to innovate or would hire. So all these questions can be answered writing to us. You can write us and we will help you in determining if we can be helpful, if how we can be of help for you. And we are available to write with you the innovation concepts according to your request, your needs, and according to what we can do in our open innovation test bed. So thank you all for your attention. I'm here to answer all your questions, and please write to us. Please ask us to answer your questions. So thank you all, and I will stop sharing my screen. So after me, Amy will answer, will explain the selection criteria for these open calls. So I leave the floor to him, and I hope I made everything clear, but I'm here to answer any question.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo. I'm Jaime Ochoa. I'm from CIDETEC, a technology center located in the north of Spain, in San Sebastian. We are participating in the project with 2 pilot lines, one from our Institute of Surface Engineering, and other one from our Institute of Energy Storage. As already was mentioned by Ricardo and before by Ula, I will explain you which are the selection criteria. And in the next slide, you can see which are the different parts, that different sections that I will explain in my presentation. I will complete what has already mentioned by Ricardo, how to submit the proposal and the different parts of the proposal. I will provide you some information about how the evaluation process will work. And just at the end of the presentation, I will give you some tips for writing a winning proposal and some extra hints. Okay, the first thing, steps to be followed for application. All the information about how to participate in the open call and all the instructions that you need will be not only in this webinar recording, you will have also in the guide for applicants that will be available in the website, in the open call website. There, we think that you will find all the things that you need for preparing the proposal. But as was already mentioned by Ricardo, you can contact us for any clarification you need, or if something is not very clear in the guide for applicants or in the presentation of this webinar. Only some things to complement what was mentioned before by Ricardo. Please, before submitting a proposal, before starting preparing a proposal, check well the list of pilot lines. You have here the link that was already shown by Ula and Ricardo. There you will see the pilot lines, the technologies, and the linked services to all of them. Do not forget to register to participate. The deadline for registering is the 20th of January, 10 days before the deadline of the submission of the proposal. For us, it's important the registering is very easy. It will take only 15 minutes because it is a very simple template. And it will allow us to know how much proposals could be submitted later. And this way we can organize the evaluation panel and know how much evaluators we will need to evaluate all proposals. Then do not forget also this date, the 20th of January, because proposals not registered before will not have the possibility of participating. And the rest was already explained by Ricardo. Okay, this slide is important. because here we explain who are the potential eligible applicants. Both for-profit and non-profit organizations are eligible. Then SMEs, startups, mid-caps, large companies, universities, research organizations can participate in the call. You will have to think how you will show that you have a capacity to reach the market, depending on your position in the market. And we will accept both proposals submitted by only one partner or proposals that are submitted by two partners. The maximum number of partners of a consortia of a consortium should be 2. And we put also this figure on the right side. It is not an updated figure because nowadays United Kingdom is not part of the European Union. But in this picture that is from the European Commission from 2018, you can see all the countries that are eligible. They are the EU member states, United Kingdom, and also associated countries that here you have the list. Are the associated countries that were associated in Horizon 2020 because INN-PRESSME is a project funded by Horizon 2020. Okay, next slide. Okay, regarding the proposal submission, some general rules to complement what was already mentioned by Ricardo. The proposals are structured in 3 sections. From one side, excellence. There will be other section that is very important about impact. And the third one is about implementation. It's like in any proposal to be submitted in Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe. I will explain more about these sections later in the following slides. The maximum length of for the proposal is 5 pages. Then, if we receive proposals with 6, 7, 8 or more pages, the only pages that will be evaluated will be the first 5 pages. Then, if the implementation part is from the section from the page number 6, the score you will have in the implementation part will be 0. Then try to respect this maximum length of the proposal, 5 pages, no more. English is the only acceptable language. You have to use Times New Roman as font, and the minimum size is 11 points. This is very important also to be considered. And also any figure, scheme or picture that will help in making clearer the aim of the proposal or what you want to explain in the proposal will be more than welcome. But remember that the maximum length of the proposal is 5 pages. Okay, I will give you some, this information is available in the guide for applicants and also in the template of the application form. But just to tell you what we expect in the different sections of the proposal. From one side, we need a description of the, I will use this. Now I think you can see what I'm explaining in what I'm just mentioning in the slide. It is very important to describe the problem that you want to overcome or the opportunity you have identified and you want to achieve. It is very important to show which are the challenges, why it is necessary to do an innovation project, and link these challenges with the services pilot lines that INN-PRESSME has, and how we could help you in overcoming these challenges. Also very relevant is the background knowledge you can provide, because you need to prove that you are from the beginning of the project with a product that is at a TRL or technology that is at TRL 4, 5, and then this background knowledge is important. Do not forget to mention any regulation, standardization, and certification issue that you have already identified, like testing that you need to do. Please provide a credible and soundness research method. And regarding, regarding the impact section, we recommend that for this section, you use around 2 pages, but how you allocate the 5 pages for the different sections is up to you. You can use the number of pages you consider more, you consider for each part, but this part is very important because this is an innovation action. Then we think that at least 2 pages are necessary for this section. You need to show clearly which is your target market, and also the competitive advantage of your solution and how it is positioned with the competition. It is very relevant also to explain the commercialization plan. We need to show that you know already how to reach the market. You know who are the key allies, which are the channels for the commercialization of the product. It is very relevant also, like in any research project or innovation project, to clarify or to explain which will be the impact of the new product in your business, how you will grow thanks to the new product. Do not forget to explain some other expected impacts like societal, environmental, and also economic impacts outside your company. And the next one. And regarding the implementation section, we think that minimum 1 page. You can use more pages if you consider. We need to, you do not have too much space to do a very extensive work plan description, but please provide information about which tasks you think are necessary to do the development project, and how you will interact with the different pilot lines and services of INN-PRESSME. Provide at least 1 paragraph just to explain the skills and the knowledge, the expertise the team involved in your company in the project has, and the experience in putting ideas into the market. Okay, and the second slide regarding the implementation. Do not forget that the proposals that are preferred have to start at TRL 4.5 and finish at TRL 6.7, because our pilot lines should help you to go from TRL 4.5 to TRL 6.7. And you will have to explain how to go from the starting TRL to the end TRL during the project. And do not forget to identify a couple or some risk and some mitigation action that you consider is necessary in case something does not work well. Okay. Evaluation process. Like in any proposal in Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe, the 3 sections will be scored and evaluated. The score of each section will be from 0 to 5. And the threshold to be approved or not approved is 3 for the individual criteria. You need to have at least a 3 in the different 3 sections. And the overall threshold is 10. Then it is not enough to have 3 in each individual criteria. Then the proposals will be ranked according to the overall scores in the ascending order. And as was already mentioned by Ricardo, we intend to fund from 12 to 15 innovation concepts or proposals. And these between 12 and 15 proposals will be funded in the 2 open calls. Then, if your proposal is not funded in this call, you will have a second opportunity in the second open call. Just regarding the time schedule for it was already mentioned by Ricardo, but just to remind you, the 13th of March, as late, you will receive a letter informing about the evaluation results. From that date, it will start for the winning proposals, the negotiation stage. At the end, a contract agreement will be signed. And the experiments will start the 1st of September and will end in principle the 13th of June of 2024. Then the maximum extension of the projects in principle is 10 months, but it will be negotiated during the negotiation stage. Okay, and just finishing some tips for writing a winning proposal and extra hints. Okay, please check well in the project website and in the guide for applicants if your project idea is in line with what INN-PRESSME is looking for. You will have contact links to do some questions if you need. It is very important that you mention and you have clear arguments about the background knowledge you have before the project. We need evidences that show us that show evaluators that your starting TRL is 4 or 5. Make sure that your research methods are clearly described, understandable and realistic. Very important, as I mentioned before, the impact. Then we need a clear market potential of your new or improved product. Do not forget to outline a sound commercialization plan, and define clearly the work plan and the role the INN-PRESSME pilot lines will play in it. And just the last slide, but this is the classical recommendation. Do not leave the writing of the proposal for the last days before the deadline. You have only 5 pages, then try to be concise when answering the questions required in each section of the proposal template. Very important, like in any proposal, innovation and research proposal, try to think as evaluator. You will have in the guide of applicants what the evaluators have to evaluate. Then try to put on the shoes of the evaluator. And the last one is also very classical recommendation. If you have someone who is not familiar with your work and the proposal, just invite them to read over the proposal to evaluate if your proposal is enough clear and if it is easy to be understood by an evaluator or other person. And that's all from my side. I give the floor to Omer and to the questions of the audience.
Yes, thank you very much, Jaime, but also to Ola and Ricardo. We have now, I think, completed all the presentations, and we are very well on time. So this last half an hour is for questions. We already have one question on the board, but I encourage everyone to submit questions, especially after this last presentation on the application procedures, criteria. If you have anything that may have popped up in your mind about what to pay attention to, or if anything is unclear, we can maybe provide more details on those. Now, the question we have on the board is the following. If we are in difficulty to respect the deadline for innovation concept of the first wave, can we directly work for the second wave in May 2023?
I can answer this. I would say that absolutely yes, we can participate to the second wave. My suggestion is to make contact with us and talk to us about your interest, and then we can evaluate which is the best moment to participate, and maybe we can help you in shortening the time to create the proposal for the open innovation. So for the open code, sorry. So I would suggest you to write to us, and then we can understand which is the best open code to participate to. So, but in general, yes, you can participate just to the second one.
May I continue a little bit this so that in a way everyone is who is not used to the testbed calls doing the proposals in the first call first time, and quite often it happens that those who are not getting funding, they will resubmit their proposal as a better one. So the competition will be harder in a second call. So that's usually the case. So therefore you need to start early, and we don't have more than 2 calls.
Yes, that's a good point indeed. We have a second question. Hello, if we have one project optimized at lab scale, and if I will write to you, how will it work with you? The cost, the raw materials, etc. I don't know if that is clear.
As Ricardo was saying, that in a way we are only subsidizing the pilot work what we are doing. So we expect you to provide all the materials and your own work, testing, and then also, of course, managing your own project. So all these materials and your own testing and management should be included in your 30% of the project costs. So we are not subsidizing any materials.
Right. There's one more question. How are the open call funding evaluated, and is it given to successful applicants in installments or the full funding before after the work is completed? Is there monitoring of the use of resources? Finally, how are project partners funding the open call activities?
There's plenty of questions. Could you?
Yeah, so the first one
I can read them.
Evaluated, and is it given to successful applicants in installments or before after the work is completed?
Like Jaime was explaining, so the evaluation is based on that you really have novelty, and then you really make impact in Europe, and you have a good plan that has a possibility to succeed in 9 months, what we are expecting to have the project time, so that these are chosen, and then the negotiation starts from that, and then we are fine-tuning what we can provide, and the final budget as well, it will be then defined based on the subject.
And the funding, the payment modality, basically, how it works?
Well, we don't pay the applicants anything. We just provide the work. And then, of course, we assume that we see that the applicant uses materials, uses the manpower in kind, in that extent that it covers their 30%.
Right. And for the monitoring of use of resources, maybe this refers to some sort of reporting. Is there also requirements when it comes to reporting on the use of resources basically provided by INN-PRESSME?
Yeah, no, I can reply this question. What do the project partners, we have already the person month to do these activities already defined in the budget of the project. Then the activities will be funded by INN-PRESSME. And regarding the monitoring of the use of resources, we have the project partners, the INN-PRESSME project partners will have to provide this, we have to report the time spent in doing these activities, and also other direct costs that we could have, even a travel. And in the case of project partners, of the applicants and the winner of the proposals, I think they do not have to provide any financial report to us or to the European Commission. We will just define in the contract agreement which will be the part provided by the partner and the part provided by INN-PRESSME. And at the end, the project partners will have to provide the materials, will have to pay the cost of the travels they need to do to visit the pilot lines or to do the meetings. And also you will provide by in-kind some of your, you will have to spend some time for being in contact with us, for informing us about what you need to do, what we have to do with our pilot lines, our services, etc.
Yes. And maybe to add that we also expect that if you compare it, for example, to your current products, that you use the same testing methods what you commercially use, so that you do your own work also in your laboratories, besides what we can provide you.
Yeah, and also something that maybe is important for all of you, we need to do some dissemination about, and some we need to make public some work that we have done in this with all of you, all the winners in the open call. But always what we will make public will be first checked with all of you, because we know that these developments have to done, and all the information that you share with us will have to be treated with confidentiality, and your IP will be protected, and nothing that is sensitive from your developments will be disseminated, and you are the owner of the technology, and then you can do the dissemination you consider. We will just provide some information to make public the work we have done with you, but it will be agreed with the winning partner.
And it's also important that you, in your proposal, you explain what are your own work, and we have to get approval from the Commission project advisor. So when we choose the winners, that they also believe in you, that it's novel enough and it makes impact and it can be implemented with the resources that we have.
Okay, I think it's very clear now. There's one more question from Marion. Hello, we're a compounder company, bioplastics formulation, who do not develop directly end products. Are we concerned by the open calls? So they're a compounder company, not developing directly end products, bioplastics.
On this, I would say that yes, you can be, you're concerned by the open calls. We can help you in creating the innovation concept to propose a project in line with our aims. So when I was talking about products, I was not talking just about consumer products, but any kind of product that your company produces. So if you're a compounder, yes, you still have a product at the end of your value chain. And so that's fine for us.
Yeah, so the project don't need to be so extensive as we have in a current INN-PRESSME project. We don't have money for that, but it can be more simple. But anyhow, it's something that how we can help industrial partners, small or large, to take their own ideas forward. With our pilots, that is the key in a thing that will be also evaluated.
Okay. We have one more question. This is a more technically oriented question. Speaking about food packaging applications, is the consortium aiming for testing new materials for single-use applications or storing, preserving food products over a longer period, like sealed bags or trays sealed with top films?
I can answer saying that we don't have a specific orientation on this topic. The important thing is that it's what you want to do is something that we can do and that is in some way innovative or of interest for the market. So
yes,
according to what you prefer, we can work on that.
So many of our pilot lines are making actually films or coatings on top of the webs, so that in a way they are operating from roll to roll. But then there is this foam bead and extrusion lines that can make also some kind of pieces. So it's also possible.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, you're welcome. Last question so far. It was mentioned that 12 to 15 projects will be funded. Is this number per call or in total considering the 2 open call rounds?
This is considering the 2 open calls.
Okay.
Yes, and of course it depends if all applicants having big projects and we use 100 €100 for each of them, then there's less projects. So that it depends. We can't know what kind of help you need, and based on how extensive help you're currently studying something that you would like to scale up now in this 9 months project. So then it depends on that.
So it's indicative indeed.
Yeah, so the commission, we have a promise to the commission that we use 1.6 million for this open call, and this is fixed, and depending on what we choose, there's then more or less projects. And of course, how many project proposals we get. If we don't get in the first call many, and because our project has a certain deadline, we have to have resources also to do the work, because the project is ending in January 25. So we'd only have then 9 months to make the second round, second wave proposals executed.
Right. Okay, we have answered all the questions, though I see we still have 37 attendees with us. There are questions coming in. There's a question, how did you define the budget limits? If we apply with a higher budget requirement than 100,000 euros, would that be okay? Since there's no budget coming from the project, wouldn't it be okay for higher budget applicants?
I think that we prefer that it is around 100 €100, but if your idea has a lot of impact and it is very innovative and it is not very far from this figure, could be also accepted, because what we want to fund are very innovative and solutions that will have a lot of impact in the market.
Yes, but on the other hand, then we have a lot of pilot lines, so that to be fair to the consortium, we can't favor just certain pilot lines to have a huge amount of work. So we will see what kind of applications we get.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, from Closely. One more question about cellulose nanomaterial. Would it be possible to test another type of nanocellulose for some applications, or will you only use VTT, CNF, and RISE's CNF and CNC?
Well, of course, if you have your own nanocellulose and you like to apply it or mix it with some other things, so that's also possible. And so you don't need to use ours. And then RISE has not promised to provide cellulose nanofibrils, so they are only the pilot with the cellulose nanocrystals is in. They have huge pilot facilities to make microfibrillated cellulose, but it's not included in this test bed.
Okay, you're welcome. Hello, are transport costs, consumables, and other similar costs for project partners covered by the applicants or the consortium?
I would say applicants. So that we expect that you deliver the materials to the right site and then cover the costs. The materials and delivered to the site would be our wish.
Yeah, it will be part of the 30% that will be your contribution from the applicant.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes industrial partners, for example, give the materials for free, but they charge for the delivering. So in that case, of course, you have to cover the delivering. And also ordering all the materials so that, you know, it's huge work to know exactly what materials are needed. So if you define based on your laboratory or if you have already done some pilot work based on that, what exactly the materials you would use in the next phase. So therefore it's more practical that you order them and deliver them to us.
Excellent. We have answered all the open questions again. Any other questions? Yeah, we still have 36 attendees with us. No open questions. Yes, one question just arrived. Let me check. It's not a question, but okay. They're thanking for the presentation and all the information. Thank you very much indeed for joining. Well, I suppose if there are no other questions, I don't know if our speakers want anything to add. Of course, everything will be published otherwise. I suppose we encourage keeping an eye on those, the guidelines and the submission procedures, which provide information. So they will be available from 1st of September, right? December, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, it's in a short time. It's not impossible. It's not possible to tell all the details about the pilot lines and what we can do. So we encourage you to look at our web pages and register in the digital platform, so that you then see the things what are available there. And the other services are not described so well on our normal web pages, so they are more described in this digital platform. And for example, that if you like to do recycling studies for plastics, it's available. Or if you like to do recycling studies for fiber-based materials, there is also services for that. And biodegradability studies can also be carried out. So depending on what all kind of things you are needing help with.
Yes, I suggest you to subscribe to the platform, and there you can find all the information
Yes.
with the templates and guidelines. starting from the 1st of December.
Yes. And now there's one question about the quantity of the materials. So that depends on what you want to test from your product, and how extensive pilot lines we are going to make for you. So, and it depends a lot on the application and pilot line, how they are operating. But most of the pilot lines can make small scale things. So in kilograms, we can provide, if you provide in kilograms the materials, we can test them.
Is it possible to submit several projects in a call?
I think why not? Yes.
Why not? Yes. So in a way, we choose the best ones, and if you have several new nice proposals, of course it's possible. The only thing what Commission is very concerned is that there is no double funding, so that you are not funded twice for the same work. So they have to be totally different, not in a way a proposal and then a continuation of the proposal in this next call, which is slightly different. So that's not something that we are looking for. We are looking for new contacts that need our help and have a real need to scale up certain things and use pilots.
Patrick says, can you share the link in the chat, please? The link for what? I shared the link of the project website. Yeah, okay. More details about the pilot lines. I'm just putting it in the chat so everybody can see more details on the pilot lines, which is part of the project website. There's a question which looks like it's coming from me. I'm assuming it's a bug in the system. At least I'm hoping so, because I didn't submit this. Would you have any templates of proposals to share?
The templates will be shared starting from the 1st of December on our platform. So you can start working on that from the 1st of December, when the first open calls starts.
Okay. All right. We also have
maybe it would be good to share the digital platform is now open already, isn't it? So the link to the digital platform, so you can already look at those as well there. Not in the LinkedIn, but Ricardo's that's the digital platform link. It's from his presentation, where the open call and the pilots are. Can you find it?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
So that even if we don't have the template available yet, but besides our normal web pages, people can register to the digital platform and look at the facilities there in more details.
Okay, it's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Is it in the chat? Okay.
You can find it also in our website.
Yes, all right. Yes.
Okay. I also wanted to mention that when this webinar is over, you will be directed to a survey of which I would say you can complete in 1 minute or even half a minute. So it's very, very quick questions like yes or no questions, or you need to score. So we would appreciate it if you fill that in. Though it will be also sent later in a link after the event, I think tomorrow. Otherwise, I think we have answered all the questions. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us, and of course to our speakers. If you have anything to add, you can right now. Otherwise, we will, I think, end the event shortly.
Thank you all for your participation.
Yes, thank
And
you
for
in behalf of the whole INN-PRESSME project team. We are welcoming you to apply in our open call.
Yes, we hope you submit your proposals. Don't forget to register, of course, by the deadline. I think it was 20th of January, like the last registration on the portal, and then the submission is at the end of January. But normally we encourage doing these as early in the process as possible. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good rest of today, and see you at another time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.